So I guess we'll just go ahead and get started since we're right at 2:50. My name is Troy Rebert. I'm with the Knoxville Track Club based in Knoxville, Tennessee. Today's presentation is Race Day Technology for Races of All Sizes. What we're going to do is just kind of discuss what we do on our normal races as far as technology, Hotspots, Chromebooks, scanners, uploading results, that kind of thing. So we'll just go through what we use, and then if you have any questions at the end or in the middle, I'd be happy to answer anything that you may have. Just a little bit about who we are. We're a nonprofit 501c3 organization. We have about 1,700 members. We're affiliated with RCA, USATF, and AAU. We started out as more as a youth track and field program, and it's kind of morphed into this entity that we are now. We produce 16 road races, 12 trail races, and then we do about 15 to 20 assisted races on the side. We rent out equipment, do their timing, start-finish line, that kind of thing. Races, participation varies between 150, and then we've got a marathon that we put on in March, April. It's got about 8,000 people. It's a half, a full. We do a two-person, four-person relay, 5K, and a kids run. We've got myself, who's the timer, the other employees. We've got an executive director, and then we've got a kind of an event director as well. That's just
full-time, part-time?
Full-time. I'm part-time. I'm part-time. The other two are full-time, yeah. So how do we do what we do? We use RunSignUp for race registration, club management, and volunteer coordination. Having kind of those three all together has been a huge deal for us, especially the volunteer coordination. We were using a different volunteer site before, and it was really difficult to get people, one, to use that other site, and then two, just kind of coordinating everything with our races. It's nice to be able to see who's doing what. We offer volunteer coupons for our volunteers. We give them $5 off the next race, $10 if it's an out-of-town race. So it's nice to be able to check them in and be done with them, and that way we know what's going on. We use RunScore for our race scoring, and we use Ipico for our chip timing. And I guess I should kind of back up a little bit. When I joined the club several years ago, before I started doing the timing, they had used RunScore, and I had no idea what it was. It was very difficult to learn, but once you learn it, it's an extremely powerful tool, and the integration with RunSignUp was a huge deal for us. The tools of the trade, what we use mostly, we've got Chromebooks. We've got 15 of them at this point. We just purchased some barcode scanners from eBay. I'll be showing you these here in a minute. We use anywhere from 2 to 5 hotspots, depending on the race, and a host of good volunteers. We've got a nice base of volunteers that we use for registration. And then also we've started a program where we award nonprofit groups with cash if they can come out, bring 10 people out to our events to take care of our volunteer needs, and it's worked pretty well for us so far. The Chromebooks that we use, we just bought 6 of these Lenovo Ideal Pads. Got them on eBay for $135, so they're pretty cheap. They're very well made, and they do a great job. Before we had these, we had some older Asus Chromebooks you can kind of see in the corner there. We originally bought the Chromebooks for registration, which is what we still use them for. We use the race date, the kiosk at this point. We'll eventually switch over to the web app once that's available. The nice part about it is they can do cash at the registration or check, which we still have a lot of people do. It's easy to get people in and out real quick. And I think the other guy kind of hit on some of the other benefits of with no paper, and when someone types their name wrong, we can tell them it was them. These are the barcode scanners we just purchased. We have switched to using dynamic bib assignment. These are, again, $35 that we got off eBay. You can't use the cheaper ones because they won't scan on the phones. So if you're looking at $12 scanners, they won't work just because the laser won't read the phones. We started this, the first time we did dynamic bib assignment was a 1,200 person race. We didn't have any early packet pickup, and it ended up being a nightmare. We had a long line. We got everybody through finally, but we only had 6 kiosks working at the time to check people in. We now have 8. We do early packet pickup, and it's the smoothest thing that we have done. It's going to save us a lot of money in the long run. If you're familiar with Ipico at all, those chips on the back of bibs are $1 a piece. after our marathon in March. Now, obviously, these chips are already paid for with registration fees, but if you're throwing away 400 or 500 chips that you've already gotten ready waiting for people to register, or people that don't show up, that's money you could be keeping yourself. So that's a way that we can keep this money and do dynamic bib assignment, make things a lot quicker.
So how many people can you check in on a kiosk in the morning before a race?
We've done, the ones that we've done so far, we've done 500 with 6 kiosks and haven't had a problem at all.
Okay, so 100 is
Right.
to 100
Yeah, yeah. And our registration times are usually, we only have about 2 to 3 hours in the morning, which I think is a lot, but if you're trying to do 1,200, obviously that's not enough time to do that. We figured that out. Pre-race tasks that we use some of this technology on. This is kind of stuff that I do on a race-by-race basis. Get the kiosk set up, configure our check-in app, and then download registrations to the timing software. The integration with RunScore and RunSignUp is, I think the other gentleman earlier touched on it as well. I don't have to do any of this until 2 minutes before their gun sounds. I can wait, get everybody to finish up. Now, you know, we advertise that we want people to stop picking up 15 minutes before the race, but the fact of the matter is, unfortunately, that doesn't happen. So if someone checks in, registers, and they get a bib assigned before the gun starts, I can download them, assign their chip, and they're ready to go. It's really been a great time saver for us. I think some of you probably have already seen this. If you haven't used the kiosk, this is just a small snippet of what it looks like. It is super streamlined and super fast when people are registering. It goes really, really quick. We tried to use the Expo settings before. It tends to slow it down a little bit with people trying to figure out if they need to log in or not log in. We do this. If they're one of our track club members, we automatically give them a $5 discount. If they put in their right first name, last name, and email address and date of birth, it already catches that. They don't have to log in, so it automatically gives them that discount as well. So it's a nice process that we've used, and it's really helped out a lot. Of course, when someone doesn't put their last name in right, they yell at me for not getting their discount, but I can't help that. This is our check-in app configuration that we use. There's more to the bottom of this, but we don't really use any of those settings. The only ones that I'm interested in are bib number, payment details, and actually I take that back. There's a giveaway at the bottom that we have on the pop-up window as well, so that the person who's checking the runner in is able to tell the person behind them what t-shirt size. That's basically all we use this for. The important points about this is where's the focus? Autofocus on last modified search field. Since we're using the barcode scanners, we leave everything on registration ID. So 2 days before the race, I'll send out an email, just a short snippet that says, please bring this email with you, whether printed out or on the phone. It's got their barcode. I can scan it. It pops up, punch their bib number in, or on to the next one. It automatically goes back to that same field so we can scan the next one. It's super fast. And it works really, really, really well. And people have been really receptive about bringing their barcodes in to the point where if they don't have it, then they start freaking out. Like, it's okay. We can get you taken care of. So this is the stuff that we use. This is downloading participants in RunScore. And like I said, when we're able to do this just a minute before the gun starts, this is the big time saver for us. I'll do a full download the morning before, get everybody in there, get their chip set, and then I can just do an incremental download, and it'll update all that information, pull in new people. We do an Athena and Clydesdale category. If someone hits no, but they wanted to hit yes, or if they wanted to change teams or something like that, all that will be updated with our incremental downloads. I think Race Director does that as well. All that stuff is automatically updated. We don't have to touch it at all. It's super fast and super efficient, which I think is the kind of the key to all this. So some more pre-race tasks. I mentioned about the Wi-Fi, the hotspots. I had tried when we first went with the kiosk, I tried using just a single USB Wi-Fi with a router, and it absolutely didn't work. It didn't do what we needed to do, so we went and bought the hotspots. If everything is static IP addressed. It's not an issue for anything. All the computers will talk. You won't have any issues. So it works out really well for us. We keep the hotspots on the same subnet. Volunteer instructions for the barcode scanners and the dynamic bib assignment. That's the largest part to all this at this point for us, is making sure that the people assigning the bibs understand that they have to double check to make sure that they've hit check in and save on the app. Otherwise, if they don't have a bib, I can't score them, and they'll show up as a bandit in my scoring system. And then I gotta hunt them down, assign it, pull the results back in, and it's kind of a mess. But that's the big thing. If you can make sure that the people who are doing the bib assignment are taking their time, doing it right, then you don't have any issues. And we also set up a GoPro for finish line video. If you haven't seen the demo of this, it's really, really cool. We've got an older GoPro we bought pretty cheap on eBay. We just set it up and let it run. I'll show you some configurations that we do with it later, but people really enjoy seeing their results, seeing their finish line, if they look okay. Some don't. Post-race tasks, we upload the results to RunSignUp. We also do it during the race as well. First personal cross, I'll check and make sure everything looks right, make sure their time's correct, and then I can upload results immediately while people are coming through. They're getting notifications, they're getting emails, it's going up on the website, so if their family wants to see it, they can do that as well. The participant notifications, again, we just have to make sure they're turned on, and once they're turned on, they've got reporting within RunSignUp as well, so I can make sure that those notifications are going out. It's a good error check tool. If you notice all of a sudden you're not sending out notifications, you know something's wrong, you can go in and fix it, and then configure the video for the results. So again, for us for RunScore, this is it's called the native results. This was the first generation of results that came out. This is kind of how we set it up. This will allow us to use the divisions that we set up in RunSignUp. So we set up the overall, we have masters, grandmasters, and senior grandmasters, and then we do Athena and Clydesdale, and we do it for both male and female. So when we send this up, it generates the notifications, and then it will also separate everybody into their specific categories. So when you pull up the results and you can click on their finisher certificate, it's got everything laid out. If you look up the results in results.runsignup.com, it'll have all of those individual age brackets sorted out as well. So you can select either on the master's category or the specific age group, and it'll show you all that information as well. It's a really neat tool, and people really like being able to drill down into their age groups. Again, this is just the result notifications that I mentioned earlier. You can see one of our last races, it wasn't a very big race, so we had 237 notifications sent out. I think we had 200 people total sign up. So these are the settings for the GoPro. What we have to do is once we get the video from the end of the race, we take it, we download it, and we use Windows Movie Maker to condense it down, to compress it down so we can upload it to YouTube. It takes a while to upload even with the compression. But I found that using these settings, it gives you a pretty nice looking picture too. It's not all pixelated and doesn't work. It works pretty well for us. And then the finish line video set up in RunSignUp. You can also set this up in RunScore and Race Director, I believe, as well. Is that correct? Yeah. So you can do this right from the scoring software and set those videos up. So then I should have put a picture of it. So when we send up the results in RunSignUp, there's just a little video link underneath their time, so they can click on that and it takes them to that YouTube section of the video. It jumps right to their, whether they're first or 101st. Other race day tools, RaceJoy, we use it for a couple of our races. People really like it. We're going to start to use it more for some of our bigger races. We've got a mobile app that we've created. It's a company called Como.com. It's just a kind of a do-it-yourself, cheapo way to make an app. But what it does is allows us to have our own kind of branded app, and it's just a link to several web pages. So we have the first set, like you can see, the Farragut 13.1, that takes them to the registration page. So people can go there. That Farragut 13.1 is until November. It's been up there for for app. They can register for our races. And then Carter Mill was the race we had on Saturday. Takes them to the RunSignUp results. We've also, the events, it's just our event calendar, and then you can join the track club from the membership page and RunSignUp. It's a pretty cool thing. Haven't seen a lot of people doing it. I know so there's a couple races. I think Florida Gulf Coast is one of the RunSignUp guys. I think they've got a pretty nice looking app too. The Facebook call to action, we use that on all of our races as well. It's a nice way to get in there and when people go to your page to be able to sign up pretty quick. And the Instagram photos is something we've just started doing as well. Not sure if you all are familiar with this. You can create a hashtag for your race so that when runners come and use and take pictures, they can hashtag it and it'll show up on your race page. You can create a separate page on your website and those photos will show up. I think it's a rotating 10 or 12 pictures, but they'll cycle through and it's a pretty neat thing. So some helpful links, obviously runsignup.com, the how-to videos, and then the biggest one for me, the one I use the most is the blog. If you haven't been to the blog, I highly, highly recommend signing up. It will keep you up to date on anything that's coming through. I check it religiously, and I'm even signed up for the emails in case I miss an email. It has, not only does it tell you the stuff that's coming, it tells you how to do it. And it tells you in deep detail of how to do it and get it done. And it works really, and it's a lifesaver for me to be able to be on top of things. I think a lot of timers, and we've talked about this before, how do you differentiate yourself if you're just doing chip timing? Well, it's stuff like this. The blog will tell you the stuff that's coming that you can put into your race that no one else is going to have unless they're using RunSignUp. I'm checking the blog, of course. That's all I've got. Went kind of quick. Are there any questions? Yeah?
How many downloads does the mobile app have?
We're at 2,500.
How big's your club?
1,700. Yes?
How do you do, I assume your marathon, do you personalize the bibs at all?
We do.
Does that affect your dynamic bib assignment?
Well, we haven't done the marathon. We just started. The marathon was in April.
Okay.
And then we just started the dynamic bib assignment. We're still kind of working through how we're going to do that. I think if we personalize the bibs, we're going to obviously have to do those first, and then we'll do dynamic after that. So we're still going to get away from throwing away all those bibs, but it's something we're going to have to figure out how we're going to do that. But that's definitely what we're going to do. Yes?
So on your, other than competitive teams, meaning you have a two-man relay or two-person or four-person,
Mhm.
do you do teams?
We do.
How do you handle that? Like I have teams of 80, and if I don't put a label on there somehow and pre-assign them, I will have just a god-awful mess.
So how do we do teams? So the teams are already in the system, so I don't need to see them. I don't, whether it's on the bib or not, it doesn't matter to me.
It doesn't matter to you, but it does matter in the fact that I got to get the right bib to the right person, because we do team captain pickup.
Yep.
And they pick up all 8 packets. And so if that label is not on that bib,
Yeah, so-
Joe versus John Smith.
Yeah, we just write on the back. If someone's coming in and pick up 6 or 7, we'll just write Tim or John or, what's that?
I do teams like mine are like 80.
Okay.
Teams that,
Well, there's going to be certain situations where obviously you're going to, yeah. We don't really deal with that. Most of our race teams, they don't pick up in that fashion. We've got teams that I think our largest teams are probably 15 or 20, and they'll just pick up race day. But all that, all the scoring is handled obviously on the back end.
We do a lot of that. Several events in my market. It's a big problem. But just like you were talking about for the marathon, the teams you do have to pre-assign up to that point, and then once packet pickup starts, then you're dynamically
Right,
moving people.
that's kind
Yeah,
of one,
it's-
because that's kind of how I handle it.
It's the best
Yeah.
way you can do it.
Pre-sign and then.
Yeah, like I said, we haven't run into that issue. I'm sure we will, because we'll have, when we go back and hit the marathon again, we'll have our company challenge. So a company like, say Clayton Homes, they'll have 500 people sign up for the 5K. Thankfully, they won't all pick up at the same time, but we'll have to figure out how we're going to do their bibs as well.
Bob, this brings up a point that I've thought about, is when you go to pull somebody up, somebody pulls up the team, is being able to sequentially, you pull up that team, you got 80 people in there, you're started at 101, you say, all right, assign everybody, start from 101, and dynamically do a
up with that readable bid, but I think there's more room for bid technology for something.
Yeah, and you can do team bibs as well. We don't deal in the team bib stuff, but there's a way to assign team bibs, and that also pulls up in the check-in app too.
Still doesn't get around
No.
the issue of, yeah, how to do that.
Yeah, pick it up all at once.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't figured out a good way. If you come up with a good way,
I've got some suggestions.
do you?
Yeah.
Okay, talk to us later.
Any other questions? Yeah.
How do you handle multiple people, family signing up for on-site registration? I don't know how the turnover is for first participants.
Yeah,
Same as the regular.
it's tough. They have to, when we use the kiosk, they have to go through each time. We run into that when we have our kids run at the zoo. The moms aren't real patient, especially with 5 kids. So sometimes with those, since those aren't super important to our timing, it's just a fun run around the zoo, we'll just have them do paper forms. It saves a lot of time.
So the new sign-up app is limited to 1 right now, but we'll probably do add a participant, just like you do on the registration form. So you'll be able to register your family and then swipe a card at the end and be done.
Yeah, and that's the other issue as well. When you have 5 or 6 and they want to pay one time with a credit card, it makes it difficult.
It's more efficient from a cost perspective on the credit card processing fees.
Right.
But it's just better and easier to, do a swipe once rather than type it in,
Yeah.
5 times.
Yeah, so that's what we do. We have for races that we know that we're going to have that issue, like our kids run.
We've heard that requirement. It's just not there yet.
Do you do a common line too so when the next kiosk opens up, it's the next person in line rather than, the difference in portage-on lines? Do you line up line every single portage-on or?
So we usually just do we have like a round table or a square table, and it's just come first serve, first come first serve. We don't really kind of separate it, but we have played around with doing the bibs at the end of the. So with the kiosk, you can assign bibs at the end of the kiosk. It's kind of hit or miss if that's going to work. You have to have a lot of good help there, but it is an option if you want to keep day of registration totally separate from your actually pre-registered.
The race I'm a race director for, check-in and day of are in 2 separate places. So if I'm in day of, I go into the kiosk and we had a set of bibs that were just set aside there, and then we had a set of bibs over at the check-in.
The only question we had with that was, how do you know, if you're not monitoring it closely, how do you know? Obviously, I think most people are going to be honest, but how do you know who paid cash and who paid card? Because we let them do both.
Oh, so if you're registering day of, you're getting your bib there.
Right. But
You have
when
a
you
volunteer.
but when you sign up through the kiosk, you can do cash or card.
Yeah.
So the people who were handing out the bibs didn't know if they needed to collect cash or if they paid with a card, not to collect the money. So,
Oh,
It should tell you.
but if you're not
if you're not looking, it's
Right.
on the other side.
Yeah, if you're not standing right there.
I'm sitting on this side of the table and you have the screen pointing to you
No,
and you're
yeah, 'cause I
signing
keep
in.
mine pretty close. I mean, I'm doing it, so I'm keeping
Yeah.
a relationship of PCs to that person.
Yeah.
Yeah, we generally have pretty honest people sign up for races. So like,
We did too. We haven't had an issue with it, but
you have 1,000 people, one person's going to short you $30. It's not the end of the world.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Could you just retell me what the mobile app that you use, the vendor?
the vendor's called Como. It's COMO.com, and it's a super easy kind of do-it-yourself app thing. It wasn't terribly expensive. It's not terribly sophisticated either. We looked at having an app made, and it was $25 grand, and that was not in the budget.
Yeah, so what these, they're called content management tools for building mobile apps. Como is one of the better ones. And basically, you can put your content into the mobile app, and that's what would reside in the app. But like what Troy's done is, like the more dynamic pages, it brings up the web page in a responsive design, so it's really just naming on a RunSignUp URL for the registration for the fair
And it's just a web, but the nice thing part about it is I can send out notifications through there.
That's what I'm looking for, is
Yeah.
like, if you, because we've had other conversations about, some of us had mobile app discussions, conversations.
Yeah.
And those are some of those things that if they do download that app, you can get some instantaneous, I've been in situations where we've had a torrential downpour, and then 30 minutes before the race, I have a 4 foot of water in a four-lane road that
Mhm.
I only have one way to go, and it's through that water. So you've got to communicate that message. as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, so you can,
Those are the apps that I'm kind of looking for.
Yeah.
Because of that unexpected.
right. And there's some neat tools in Como as well, where you can do customer loyalty cards and things like that. We've talked about playing around with as well.